Howdy folks, Daniel Rubino here with Windows Phone Central, and check it out, it is the Nokia Lumia 928 coming to Verizon, and we hear it's coming real soon, like possibly this week coming up, if you can believe that. Some stores may actually be getting this as early as Thursday, depending on the area next to you. Anyway, let's take a look here. That is the 928, comes in this great little box. Obviously I got the white one, comes in black as well. Obviously I think the white looks best. We'll see what's in the box here. Not too much, you got that. You got your nice little Verizon start kit here, which actually, as far as start kits go, in the paperwork, it's actually pretty nice. It's all nice and sealed up, so if you need your instructions. And then we're just talking a basic USB plug with the USB charger there. Nothing else involved with it, and so it's a pretty basic package. But you already knew that. You came here for this guy, the Lumia 928, Verizon's first flagship Nokia device. Pretty awesome 4.5-inch AMOLED screen. You have your peer view camera here in the back, but what makes it better, of course, it's got the xenon flash along with the LED flash back there. Go down to the back and you have this beautiful speaker, which is considered to be one of the most quote-unquote advanced speakers on the market, with a digital amplifier to boost that sound up. And we hear it's supposed to be really good. Going around the bottom here, you've got nothing here except for the markings. You do have your microphone here for your talking, front-facing camera, of course, another earpiece. What is sort of interesting on the back here, you can sort of see this is part of the high amplitude audio capture microphones, HAACs. There's 3 of them, although they're kind of all hard to see. But what's neat is they're placed on the back, so when you're actually holding the device forward like this, recording your video, the sound's going to hit the device itself directly. And supposedly this gets some of the best audio recording around. Oh, look at that, we just pulled out the little SIM card. So that's what that sticker does, in case you were wondering. So there is your micro USB holder. I'll put that there. I'm not going to actually lock it because I'm going to need that later. Micro USB on top. Some of you may like that. Some of you may not like that. I'm not actually a big fan of it because when I use this in my car, it's going to be a little bit of pain to wire it up, but so be it. If you do prefer it, there you go. Headphone jack, of course. And that is basically the device there. So now what we're going to do, we're going to pause the video. I'm going to turn this on, we'll boot it up and take a look at it. Alright folks, we're back here. We have successfully booted up the 928 here on Verizon, although of course we're in the UK right now, so we don't have any service. Anyway, phone looks great without all the stickers on, of course. The screen is gorgeous. Like I said, it's a 4.5-inch AMOLED display, which really pops out. You can see this device looks very different from considerable other Nokia's, notably here the Nokia 920, which has a much more curvy display to it, or curvy body and rounded edges. I'm not saying one's better than the other, but clearly there is a difference here. If you want to look at the thickness, you can see the 920 is definitely a thinner device. They squared everything off as much as they can, as opposed to the 920, which has a much more rounded sense to it. Also, you can see the buttons are different. Same button types, just one's a black ceramic, the other one's just the colored white ones. Not a huge disadvantage. They both feel really good, very tactile. In fact, they're nearly identical. You can see the back here, the strips for the camera. You can see how much longer this one is actually on the 928. You don't really realize how much longer that is, but you can see, and partly that's because it says Pure View here as opposed to the Carl Zeiss and Tessar over here. So I guess maybe that made it a little bit longer, plus they added some space. For whatever reason they did. Then you see the differences here with the flash, of course, and then you got the speaker back there versus the dual ones here on the bottom, which I'm not even sure are really dual speakers anyway. But those are sort of the main differences there between these two devices. In hand, I would say the 920, it definitely does feel lighter than a 920. Not by a lot. We're talking a smidgen difference. But the way it cups in your hand definitely feels a little bit better. Having said that, I still am a big fan of the 920. Let's look here at the 720. Obviously a very radically different device, but you can see the size is kind of similar. Now, this is a 4.3-inch screen device versus a 4.5, so of course it's going to be a big bit of a difference there. And of course different resolutions, but these devices are ones that were sort of designed around the same period, presumably. So there's that. If anything, I would say this kind of reminds me a bit of T-Mobile's 810. which itself is a custom version of the 820, which isn't too unlike the 928. You know, so these are two carriers that got involved in design, and you can see they both sort of opted for more squaring off the phones. Although this one has a nice little rounded back too. This one's a little bit more subtle, but it does have it what they call their pillow top back, which actually is really nice. In fact, from the back, it's a very different looking device. You see this, and it's like that looks like a traditional Lumia. But when you switch it over to the front, it feels very different. Like I said, it feels more like an 810 here on T-Mobile. So you can see how carriers can kind of get involved here and make differences. Overall, though, it's a nice phone. The display is really great. You know, AMOLED I'm always a big fan of. Colors pop a lot more. You can see Verizon's default layout here is pretty interesting. They do have all of their, you know, custom apps on there. CNN, Nokia Dry Beta is there, of course. Smart Shoot, DataSense is on board. You have Verizon Navigator and a Verizon backup service all built in to this. Other than that, though, it is a pretty solid device. So we'll have more specs on this at Windows Phone Central and our thoughts on it, including some high-res photos if you're interested. Head there and we'll have this review up in the next couple of days, hopefully, and we'll let you know what we actually think of it. But overall, if you're on Verizon, it's a pretty killer phone. You're going to be happy with it. There you go. Take care, everybody.